Hey everybody, it's Goblin and welcome back to another Pick 2 draft of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the Early Access event. Thanks again to Wizards of the Coast for providing me with this promotional Early Access account, and without further ado, let's draft what I'm going to draft way too much, which is more artifacts. We got Krang Mastermind here. Affinity for artifacts, you draw up to 4 cards when he enters, and +1/+0 for each other artifact control is a huge threat for the artifact decks. Could be a 4-for-1 if it draws 3 when it enters. Actually, a 5-for-1 if you have no cards in your hand, because you get the creature and you get the 4 cards. So really cool card. And there's also Donatello, which can get really big with all the artifact token production in the set. There's mutagen tokens, there's 1/1 robot tokens, there's all that kind of stuff. There is also this fugitive droid. Can't be blocked from an artifact under the battlefield under control this turn. So this is really good at getting your sneak cards in. You have to attack with an unblocked creature, then you can pick them back up. So that's pretty good. And it's also protection for an artifact or creature. Let's actually go fugitive droid Krang here. We did try to play a little bit with Donatello last time. Let's draft some cards we have not drafted yet. Pick 2, there you go. Casey Jones, Jury-Rigged Justiciar is a way to pick up an artifact from your top 4. So if you have 10 or more artifacts in your deck, that's a very good card. And blue-red is really the artifact color pair. And in that color pair, we can also take the Mouser Foundry here, get some artifacts when this enters and leaves, and get a 3 damage spell onto the board. Some other options, let's see, Novel Nunchaku, which is 2 and a green. When it enters, attached to a creature control, when that creature fights, or when you do, that creature fights a creature you don't control. Okay, so it's like a Hunt the Weak style removal spell. 2 and a green, give something +1/+1 and fight something else, and then you get to keep that equipment around. That's a pretty good green spell. And then it's all commons from there. Okay, solid green spell, but I don't think I'm pushing that way after double artifact pack 1. Pick 1. Okay, here's another Mouser Foundry. It's also the Turtle Power. All of your turtles get +2/+2 if you manage to get a lot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themselves. There are common, uncommon, and rare versions of them, so that could be quite good. Here, I think it's just Mouser Foundry and maybe Raphael. Maybe Cryptid or Stockman. I'll take the Raphael. Pick 4. Looks like a good pod for us. We see another fugitive droid pretty late. There's another Raphael. A lot of blue and red cards in general. I'm going to take the fugitive droid and the purple dragon punks that can give us mana for our artifacts. Okay, now we have a retro mutation. Turn something to a 0/1 turtle with no abilities. So you can flash this in to kill something in combat, but you can also just use it as straight removal against bigger cards. And then Zog, just taking the on-color cards. Zog is not super exciting. I'm going to 5/4 trample. Zog certainly got a stat line on him. Okay, now we got a Mouser Attack and Crustacean Commando. Sure. Let's see what we open up in pack number 2. Did get a red rare, and it is a strong one. Raphael the Night Watcher, 2 red and 2. For a 2/3, attacking creatures control have double strike, or you can sneak him in. Get a bunch of double strike damage in out of nowhere. He seems fantastic, and sneak is really good with mechanized and ninja cavalry, as well as fugitive droids to get that unblocked swing in. So I'm going to take the mechanized and ninja cavalry here. 1 and a red, get 2 1/1 artifacts. Seems great for an artifact-centric strategy. Nobody is also really good for an artifact-centric strategy. You pick up one of your other artifacts to recast it and get its enter effect again, like a Mouser Foundry or the Ninja Cavalry itself. I actually might take the Nobody over the Cavalry here. I think I will take Nobody over the Cavalry because it's very good with Mouser Foundry, because this is making a 1/1 when it leaves the battlefield for any reason. Doesn't have to be sacked to make the 1/1. General Trog, Heart of Stone. 5 mana, 4/3 trample. When it enters, you can sack another artifact to deal 4 to a creature. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. When you're in the blue-red artifact decks, you're going to have no shortage of 1/1 robot tokens or artifacts sitting there like the Mouser Foundry itself. So I'm happy to take that. There's also Return to the Sewers or Manhole Missile. These are both great removal spells in their own respects. The Manhole Missile is cheaper, and it gives you a little bit of card selection. but the Return to Sewers can deal with the bigger stuff, but it is slightly temporary. I'll just take the Manhole Missile. Looks like we're very deep into red this time around. Okay, pack 2, pick 3. A lot of good options here. Bot Bashing Time for that deal 6 removal. Some other signpost uncommons we could splash in. Everything Pizza. At some point we got to play a 5-color Everything Pizza deck. But I also really like Mind Transfer Protocol, the combat trick that can also suit up one of your non-creature artifacts, which is sick. And then Surveillance Cam was pretty impressive as well, playing against that. So I'm just going to go Protocol and Bashing Time, but I think Surveillance Camera is interesting too. Ooh, Spill. Counterspell, get a Mutagen. So Counterspell, get a +1/+1 counter later. Sure. Counterspell, get an artifact on the board too. Rock Soldiers, 4 mana 4/3 when they enter, destroy a non-creature artifact. Interesting. Maybe better than Stockman, because they're an artifact. Okay. Each player may discard their hand and draw 7. Okay. Not very good in traditional drafting, because by the time you're casting that, your opponent is probably getting pretty equal value out of it, and they didn't have to spend a card to do so, because they're probably also very low on cards in hand. So they'll get a fresh hand of 7. Okay, we got a Henchbots here to exile a tapped creature. Good stuff. Good artifact creature. Looks like not too much elsewhere. The Stockman, Punk Frogs, Mouser Attack, and Null Group Biological Assets. I did kind of like the biological assets last time. I don't know if we'll quite have room this time around, but I think it's a good card. Buzzbots is pretty nice. Little 2-mana artifact. When it dies, draw a card. We can just get a million fugitive droids. Looks like we are actually going to end up 50-50 on blue and red. I'd like to take a chunk more blue here so that we're running enough islands to get 1 blue mana turn 1 as consistently as possible for all these fugitive droids. Donatello's Technique, we got some good cards to sneak with that, and just 3 mana draw 2 is already good. And then we could take the 4 mana 3/4, draw another card. I think I have enough removal to pass up on this Manhole Missile. And then this is just another great card to sneak too. Got a blue-red duel out of here, as well as the Artifact Mana Dork. Some cards, I'm just going to put these immediately in the sideboard. Same with these. I don't imagine playing a bunch of Rock Soldiers is a great idea. But as a one-of, they're fine. Wow, red is open. Last pick. Missile. Manhole Missile, I think it's called. Okay, let's build this thing nice and quick. Get right in the gameplay. Because that is the best part of pick 2 draft, is how fast you can draft a deck and just get right in there. Definitely don't want to cut any artifact cards. I was not overly impressed by Raphael last time. Feels like if you're already in a good position, Raphael makes it better, but 19 creatures, cut 3, go to 16. Still have Mouser Foundries 2. That's fine. I could even cut a Crustacean. And 5 non-creatures. Definitely the wheel effect. Maybe the counter. That might be a bit slow. Retrimutation. I've got the Basher. I've got the missiles. The General. Oh, I'm going to cut Zog, actually. For sure. We might put another creature card back in then. Yeah, let's see if we can put a creature back in this deck. Oh, I guess I could have kept that on because I'm just looking for a creature, really. I'd rather play the Null Group than the Zog, or the Raphael than the Zog. I think we want a 3-mana card ideally, so I'll take the Null Group. Biological Assets. Artifact count is 12 for our Casey Jones. Well worth it. We'll call it a deck here, hop into the gameplay, and see how far this one can take us. All right, here we are on the draw for game one. Illegitimate business. Our opponent's on black and green. It's the escape tunnel too. This far out's got very good fixing then. If it has the dual lands in every color pair as well as a Terramorphic Expanse card, the escape tunnel. Really good fixing for splashing in a third color, at least. If not playing an everything pizza deck. Mutagen Ooze. Or Mutagen Man Living Ooze. That is very good. Double green and X, you get X mutagen tokens, and you reduce the cost to activate them by 1, so you can activate all of them for just... well, for free, for 0 mana apiece. Okay. Probably bash Mr. Mutagen Man. Never mind, we're going to bash April O'Neil. Because them drawing an extra card every turn is much worse than having a 3-4. Unfortunately, the Punks is only artifact or ability mana, so I can't play the Droid and the bashing time. The Droid is a blue artifact, so I can't use Punks on it, and then Bashing Time is a non-artifact, so I can't use Punks on that either. Donatello's Technique is the draw. I mean, at this rate, doing well enough on board to not care about sneaking. I can just spend the extra mana and keep my stuff out. Surveillance Cam is the draw. And then another rare. When Rennet enters, return each other non-land permanent that entered this turn to its owner's hand. That's very strong. Okay, so it bounces everything that was played this turn, and it's a 4/3. Okay. Our opponent has cast only rares so far. Mutagen Man into April into Renette. Renee. It's probably Renee. Tapping Mutagen Man instead of Renee, it's 1 more damage that we take, but then nobody gets to attack back, even if they want to hold up on blocks. Anchovy and Banana Pizza to blow up nobody. There's Donatello, that's a big one. What do you got for us? Manhole Missile, blow up Renee. Then I've got a 3-4 and a 3-4. Yeah, we're chilling. We're chilling off that draw. Very worth noting, when we're in a set with Sneak, we need to make sure not to Manhole Missile. Well, this is technically an unblocked attacker, actually. I probably should have done that pre-combat, but I wanted to wait to see if they could use a combat trick. Yeah, using cards like Manhole Missile on attacks is going to be a lot worse in the set in general, just because they could sneak. I might have to just take this damage, because again, if they have any sneak card, they counter this completely. Which would just be game losing. Yeah. You really gotta shoot things during the right before declare attackers step. Permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn. I don't know if that happened. It did not. Okay. Mouser Foundry is a really good draw if we survive long enough to utilize it. Can double block the 3/3, and we can tap the Mutagen Man. They move to combat. Find our Krang. Let's see some more pizza, I guess. No more pizza. We kill the 3/3. But there's a gigantic Rocksteady. Can't be blocked by more than one creature. So I have to chump block that forever. Okay, then. What do you got, Casey? What can you find? 4 lands in a row. Okay. Fugitive Droids and a Purple Dragon Punks. So I can block the 7/7 with the 1/1. And I have the stats I need to kill the 3/4 if they send both in. Okay. It's a raptor. Turn a creature or food from your grave to hand. Pick up their rare again. Play Courier of Comestibles. I should specify. Pick up their Mutagen Man again. They did play 3 rares, so it's important to specify. The Ragamuffin Raptor is actually really scary with like Anchovy and Banana Pizza, where they can pick up one of the pizza cards from their grave. That'd be super deadly. But Mutagen Man copy number 2, or Mutagen Man recast, is also super deadly, because now they get to crack all these mutagens for free and just bash in here. Alright. Rough first game, but I think they just hit us a little too hard too fast in that early game with a selection of good rares. The one thing we really did wrong that's important to keep in mind, or the one thing we really did wrong that's important to keep in mind in this format is we should have killed their 4/3 pre-combat. I'll just take this. We'll go to the next game. I should have killed their 4/3 pre-combat, because once it's declared as an attacker, if it's ever an unblocked attacker, they can sneak it back to their hand. So we had to do it either like before they declare attacks, or like during the declare attackers before they declare blocks. We can't do what I wanted to do, which is wait for them to play a combat trick and then do it. Because if we wait to play a combat trick and then kill it, by the time they're casting combat tricks, it's after we've declared blocks, which means if they had any sneak card in their hand, they could have blown us out there. So I think I was right. Once I waited long enough to where they could have sneaked it if they had a sneaker in hand, I think I was right to wait longer at that point, but I shouldn't have waited that long in the first place. That was one of those spots we should have just killed it before we declared blockers, but I suppose even if we did that, then they would have just still had the +2/+2 trick to save that, and the game would be pretty similar. So maybe it was unwinnable, but that's still very important to keep in mind in the future. Here we are now for game number 2. Not sure if we're on the play or on the draw, but we're waiting for our opponent right now. All right, we are on the play. We were waiting for their mulligans. Okay. Blue-red mirror match. Wingnut. Bat on the Belfry. Whenever the creature you control enters, give it flying, menace, or haste. And all of their other creatures get plus and plus 0 every time it attacks. Okay. Play the assets here. Not worried about sneaking in 1 point of damage or anything. Bespoke Bow. They get to bounce one of my permanents, and then they can equip that for 3 to give vigilance and stuff. +2/+1 vigilance. Pretty good. I don't think I need to kill Wingnut, but we'll take our opportunity when they actually have a tapped creature to exile a tapped creature. We'll save the bashing time. Especially when they have a vigilance equipment on their board. That'll make it a little more difficult for the henchbots to find illegal targets. Now we could play it like really, really safe and then just sit here and play like nobody and another droid. Because if we ever make it to 5 mana, Fugitive Droid could protect the henchbots. I think this all worked out fine. I don't think a second Fugitive Droid does a ton for me here, so I'm going to ditch that. Find the land to play the biological assets and do some digging. Mouser Foundry, get a 1/1. And Mouser Mark III for a 2/3. Right, up to 1 target non-creature artifacts. We can destroy the bow with the rock soldiers. That's okay. If I want null group biological assets to not die, I have to bashing time and not have removal yet. I think I'd rather just play rock soldiers for now. Poke for 1. The set seems like it's going to have a lot of good flickering and bouncing stuff, though, so maybe we should have killed the pizza. But there's a lot of cards like the Nobody that we're running that can pick up one of our permanents to replay it again. So if they like pick up the oatmeal pizza, they've essentially drawn an additional removal spell, which is not good for me. They want to block our first striker with Raphael. That is okay with me. I should probably just decline here. If it was drawn then discard, it would be okay, but I think this order is bad for me to ditch a Nobody and just hit a land or something. Good turn. They're gonna eat some pizza. Another Mouser Mark III. The hard one Jite, which is going to give things double strike. That is scary. Enters or leaves, you may tap or untap a creature. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, it's not lethal, but it's quite good. Honestly, didn't even need to recast it there. Just forcing a block on the 4-3 would be fine. So they still have a pizza on their board, so they could be at 4 life if they have the extra mana up. GG from opponent. Drop a turtle lair. So they can go to 4. But we tap somebody. They can activate Mouser, Foundry, or Spicy Oatmeal Pizza, but they can't activate both, which means unless they have a good card in their hand, this will be lethal. Retro Mutation plus Eat a Pizza. Still dead. Okay. GG then. That is 1-1 now, heading into game number 3. These pick 2 drafts, 4 wins or 2 losses, are really, really quick. So we're actually on the verge of ending this run every single game here. All we need is one unlucky game. We'll be out of it. So definitely solid to get at least one win in here. The start of our rally. All right, mono blue opening hand, but I think we're pretty fine with that. We're on the draw, which makes the hand a lot worse. On the play, we're more likely to be able to get the sneaked Donatello's technique going. But I think the hand is strong enough to still keep regardless. Okay, we do get the sneak here. Oh, here's another thing to keep in mind. We hold full control mode. Oh, during the declare blocker step. Okay. So it is fixed ninjutsu. So you can... Okay. You can make a non-creature spell that has sneak, which you couldn't do with ninjutsu. But the other thing about ninjutsu is that ninjutsu would let you damage them with the creature and then sneak it, like in the very end of combat, whatever that is. I don't even want to like read all this. You know, I mean, we just missile that. Get rid of one of these purple dragon punks. We're not going to want 2 of them out. But yeah, ninjutsu, you could do some really cheeky stuff like that, which you can't do here, because you can only do it during the declare blocker step this time around. Draw me a card with Donatello. There's Casey Jones from our opponent. A miss. A Mouser Foundry for us. Oh, I don't have enough red sources to do what I want to do. I guess I just go to combo with Donatello then. Never mind, surveillance cam. We'll stop that. Opponent may be stuck on mana or maybe has a bunch of instants, just wants to tap somebody here. I think with Raphael, it's really important to remember you can just hard cast him, because there's positions like this where maybe just just playing him is more than good enough. So that all these have double strike on their swings. Just trade Casey Jones into the punks here. Just send everybody and activate Foundry. No sneaking. Don't really want to run out Krang without being able to draw a few cards. Slash is terrifying. Slash gives them a 2/2 every single turn. Okay. I don't have the mana to sneak Raphael and play Krang. I would need 8 mana. I have 7. I could play Casey Jones and sneak Raphael if I had another red, but I don't. So I can only do one thing here. I really don't want to Krang yet. Henchbots makes things awkward. Because they really want to attack with this to get those mutants, but they can't if I pick that up. Oh, I guess I could still play Krang here. Draw 1. Sure, draw 1, get an unblockable attack in. Find a manhole missile. Our bot has been bashed by bot bashing time. It was actually a very apt card to cast there. Okay, they're just going for it, so they almost definitely have a way to blow up the hench bots, but we're gonna do what we gotta do. Would they have a way to blow it up for a single red mana? I hope not in this set. Maybe I should play this post-combat, but if I do it pre-combat, I can sneak the Fugitive Droid instead of anybody else. And then replay it. I missed lethal like a pro. If I manhole missiled the 2/2 before that comment, that was actually just lethal with all the double strike. Their manhole missile for their slash. Mouse or Foundry for another blocker. Surveillance cam should do the job for us. And there's the concession from our opponent. That is 2-1 heading into game number 4. All right, we are on the play for game 4. We've got our best 1 and 2 mana plays. Fugitive Droid for those early swings and the Purple Dragon Punks for the artifact mana. Our opponent takes a couple mulligans here to start them off. Rough stuff for them, but that'll be pretty advantageous for us. Like there's a table of Magic cards in the background. The turtles were playing Magic. Lita, Little Orphan Amphibian. Whenever another creature enters, you can choose a bunch of different stuff. So if I kill her before other creatures enter, then it doesn't matter. They could get one food token, one counter, or one scry. We can wait to Manhole Missile and just be mana efficient for now. Could double Manhole Missile next turn. Blow up Lita and whatever they play. They're on Boros, red and white. Feather-brained Filcher. When it enters or leaves, create a food. It's literally just City Pigeon. Back already. As a 0/2 uncommon instead of a 1/1. I'm gonna sneak with Lita. Sure. Sneak 3 1/1s. Sure. This is all quite chill so far. I don't really care to kill the Feather-brained Filcher, honestly. So Henchbots just on a 1/1 is fine, because then even if the Henchbots dies, nothing happens for them. Good draw from the null group biological assets. Biologically grabbing us non-biological things like robots. My brain was going somewhere there. It didn't get there. Okay, Lita is back. And not a very good attacker, and I have multiple Manhole Missiles held up. Find a Krang. And put them down to 7. Koya, Death from Above. When Koya enters, exile up to one other creature. Beginning of the next end step, you can spend 3 in a black. If you don't, return it to the battle. So they flicker a card for a turn, but then I'll just come back. So just choose the Filcher for some food, I suppose. Yeah. +1/+1 counter on Lita. And April O'Neil as well. Scry 2 can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. That's all fine. Let's just miss Lita before they get more value, like if they choose to scry with Lita as well. One at the top, one at the bottom. And I think we actually kill April here, the higher toughness card. Rock soldiers to blow up the food is funny. Gets Fugitive Droid in unblocked, that's fine. I probably should discard Krang because we don't have another blue source right now. It's really hard to go through with, though, because Krang is so cool, and it's like if I top deck the one island, we're there. Ooh, they drew a sneak card for the filter. See what that scry at the top was. Everybody discards their hand, draws 7, sure. See if that can get them out of this at 1 life. Against an unblockable fugitive droid, too. They've got 3 mana up. There's a Foot Elite, which does some stuff, but they are dead. So that is game. That is 3-1. Pretty much the full recovery from the 0-1 start. That's about as far as you can rally in a pick 2 draft where it's only 2 losses or 4 wins. We've rallied all the way to the final battle here, win or lose, the final game of Magic for today. All right, here we are for that final boss, the final game of Magic for today. We've got a great opening hand, tons of cheap plays, exactly what you want in the opener. Just run all this stuff out and draw the big stuff later when we've got the mana for it. Our opponent starts with Michelangelo, weirdness to 11. When it enters, create a mutagen. If one or more counters or put on a creature, put that many +1 instead. So a 3/3 for 3, but if they get more mutagen cards, then that's going to be very strong. Okay, let's lead. Let's actually lead with the purple dragon punks here. So if they don't have removal, this is going to be our best way to start dumping this hand out as quick as possible without as many spells as it has. So 2 counters on Michelangelo. We take the 3, go to 18. And they have the cheap removal, the Tender Eyes on the Mana Dork. That's extra rough. Okay. Let's go for the Foundry plus Surveillance Cam here. I don't really think I care about tapping just 3 damage down this early. I don't know if I actually go Fugitive Droid. You know what? Let's go Casey Jones and Fugitive Droid and give me the best cards to sneak Raphael out in the coming turn. Excuse me. Henchbots will make them not want to attack, which I kind of want them to attack so that I can sneak. So I kind of want to get Krang here, even though I don't have the second blue yet. I just don't need like a second Foundry, and I do want them to be attacking. Oh, did I have definitely missed some Casey Jones damage. That's got haste and draws you the card, potentially. Ninja Teen. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. Yeah, yada yada yada. We're Raffin. I'm just going to go maximum damage here and pick up the 1/1. I could go for higher value by picking up Casey Jones, but I've got a lot of cards in hand and not a lot of mana to play them. So I think extra damage is going to go farther than extra cards right now. This can give their whole board Menace next level. That's terrifying. Okay. Well, they didn't level it up, so they're holding up an instant. So let's hold up our tap card and our Manhole Missile. I guess I can't hold both up. I have to cast one first. Let's tap first and then hold up Missile to play around like plus whatever on Michelangelo. But if there's some good flash creature, then it would be better to Manhole Missile first. I just don't know the set at all yet. Oh, that untaps too? Okay. Well, they'll need double spell. Gross. All right. Kind of a blowout. The double combat trick. It will be a trade at least, so I guess not a complete blowout. I need lands. Let's ditch a Buzzbots. No, I again probably should ditch Krang, but because it's another good route to victory if our opponent stabilizes really well. Yeah, this is still a trade if they block. So, not the biggest blowout in the universe, but not what we wanted to happen. Losing Raphael here. Okay, so they've got 2 cards left. One of them is a Foot Mystic for a Lifelinker. Lifelink is bad for me. Just a 2/4 Lifelinker, no relevant stats outside of that. 2 artifacts towards Krang. Mana Dork towards Krang. Probably dumping out Krang next turn should we draw land. They are going to start lifelinking. Land for turn. Drop a Shredder. Death Touch when enters attacks, another creature gets Death Touch. It's a 6/4. Jesus. I am indeed going to play a Krang here, draw 3. No attacks into the 6/4. Menace is scary, but we're fine from it right now. Just scared about Chapter 3, right? Yeah, being able to recast cards from their grave. They had more removal for Krang. It's bad. We got to get rid of this lifelink. And then just a 4 power creature on Shredder. This Ninja Teen's going to kill us. The sneaking things back out. All lands off the top. Okay. Rock Soldiers, no target. Nope, I don't have the mana for Surveillance Camera if I play it right now. I got a Surveillance Camera. Stop them from sneaking around. Super Shredder. Whenever another permanent leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it. We drew some mildly relevant cards, which is nice. The hope is they top deck a land or another creature, and we have the triple block set up to keep Shredder off of us and keep them from sneaking. Okay, that's a land or a creature. Rock Soldiers allows me to poke for 1 with Fugitive Droid. No, it doesn't. I shouldn't have done that because of Mind Transfer Protocol. Not untapping. This is not the green trick. Yeah, so now they sneak something and we die. That was a bad punt. Well, That happens. First time playing with the cards. That'll get you. Yeah, I just completely forgot that doesn't untap. Oh, this game was quite winnable. If I didn't do that, that's brutal. That one fugitive droid damage really cost us the game. All right. You got me. That is 3 and 2. What probably could have been 4 and 1. I mean, another fugitive droid is still nowhere near enough to kill them yet. So, we would have needed some decent draws to follow up, because we still would have had to just sit there and keep them from sneaking, but we could have held them off of sneaking and winning the game for several more turns to have a chance to top deck something, and I just punted that away. Sloppy stuff, but good to keep in mind. The blue trick does not untap. The green trick does. So, good to learn this stuff in the early access event where we're playing with Wizards of the Coast Monopoly bucks and not our real cold hard gems. Yeah, fun run. I think this deck was more than capable of a 4-win run. I just did a little bit of misplaying with it, and we drew. I don't know what happened in game 1, but I don't remember what happened in lost 1 at this point. So maybe we drew like a little bit worse, or they were just a little too fast. I don't remember exactly. But we didn't get to draw a couple of our spiciest cards. Maybe just this one. Yeah, no, I think everything else pretty much we drew. But we didn't really get to play with General Chog at all. And I think he was really, really good in this deck. Sacking a Foundry or a 1/1 token from a Foundry. I think the General would have been super, super sick. So sad we didn't get to play with him at all, but we got to play with everybody else. Still got another great run. All winning runs in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles so far. We'll take it. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you want to see some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send me more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.